This is really gross, but dirty trash cans can pose a serious health risk to you and your family. The pungent smell can attract rats and flies, not to mention maggots, both of which can contain dangerous diseases transferable to humans. Your dirty trash can is susceptible to harboring dangerous bacteria. Contact Brandon at Fitz Trash Bin Cleaning today at 440-752-1533 or find them on Facebook. Veteran owned and operated and eco-friendly. Again, call Brandon at 440-752-1533.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Talking about balls.
Hello there, friends. Welcome to a tradition unlike any other. Talking about balls, that's of course what we're talking about this week.
You really practiced on an entrance.
Oh, I was ready for that. I've been practicing
Pulled the Jim Nantz
my
out,
Jim
huh?
Nantz
I
all day.
like it.
Well, anyways, welcome to Talking About Balls, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here from Studio 2, getting underway for all of you happy listeners at home. First and foremost, I always forget to do this every week. I'm not going to forget this time. The Fitz Trash Bin Cleaning Service LLC hotline. The number's at the bottom. I want you to call in 440-554-7251. Call that number today. What we want to do in the future, Kyle and I want to do trivia. If we get enough people to call, more interactions. I mean, we talk to plenty of people via the stream on the internet, Facebook, this and that. That's great. We love interacting. However, I want some calls. A couple things, though, as we start to show off about calls. I run a tight ship. Everybody knows that.
He's a Nazi.
When we used to do the show on Stereo, the app, people would leave messages, and I used to cut them off after like 10 seconds, maybe 15 tops. And I warned people, I have a short attention span. No offense to those listening at home. I appreciate you viewing and listening, but this is our show. We have the microphones. So if you want to communicate and talk on the show, that's great, but be quick. If you want to call, let's talk for 30 seconds max. That's it. I have a very short attention span. I don't need you to try to run your own show and give me every thought on your mind. Make it quick. However, back to trivia. Once we do trivia, we're going to be giving these away. Now, those of you at home, I'll zoom in. You can go a little closer.
It kind of matches the back.
It does. These are our official Talking About Ball stickers, okay? Not to be confused with Lee Money's actual penis. Same size, everything. It's an exact replica, basically.
Is that where you got the size from?
Yeah, I typed in shortest penis Steeler fan, and it was the first one to pop up. I don't know why that happened.
That's weird.
So here they are, but these are the official Talking About Ball stickers. For those of you listening that want to contribute with trivia, we don't have anything ready today. This is just our introduction.
It's coming, though.
So, yes, it is. All over something. But yeah, we will be giving away these stickers to people.
That size is all over yourself.
We have an abundance of them. Yeah, it's not going to go very far. It doesn't have a lot of distance. But let's get right into it. We are going to be talking about the Masters. Kyle will be running that segment.
Oh no, you're gonna have some input too. I mean,
I already discussed with Tim before you got here. He's gonna cut the camera just to you. I'm gonna take a little nap while you talk golf, and then I think Kyle wanted to get a little soccer talk into. So I'm really gonna sleep like a baby because that's boring as shit. So we'll get into it all and plenty to talk about. But first and foremost, I am of course wearing the Cleveland Indians hat. I understand they're the Guardians now. I'm not doing this to be a rebel. This literally is the World Series 2016 hat. It doesn't come with the Guardians logo, and I'm not going to buy a new $45 hat. I love this hat. We went to the World Series. I had a great year that year. Cavs won a championship. What a great year 2016 was. Like fine wine.
It was a great
Fantastic.
year.
So I'm never going to not wear this hat, all because it has Chief Wahoo on it. Who gives a shit? I understand it's new. The logo's new. Chief Wahoo's gone. The Indians are gone, but whatever. This hat can never be replicated by the Guardians. It just can't. So history is history. I'm sticking to it. Speaking of the Guardians, though, Jose Ramirez, the Dolans finally brought out the checkbook.
It's about time.
It really is. Now, I'm going to sound like a bitter old man, a bitter person when I talk about this, but I'm indifferent on this deal right now. I don't know how to feel because there's part of me that goes, okay, you have Jose Ramirez, best player on the Indians by far. Or Guardians, sorry. Just trying to get used to it. Best player on the Guardians by far. You're giving him a brand new 5-year, $124 million contract. Biggest contract the Guardians have ever given in the history of the franchise, which is very short because they used to be the Indians. But anyway, it's the biggest contract
Seems really
they've ever
recent.
done. And normally the Cleveland baseball team doesn't keep their own. Or if they do it on a very cheap deal. If you're a really talented player like Sabathia, like Lindor, the list is endless. You're gone. You're traded.
Yeah.
We can't retain you. Michael Brantley, just to name a few people off the top of my head. So them keeping Jose Ramirez was really, I personally thought, leading up to today, all the rumors of a contract extension were them doing a little
A
housekeeping.
PR. Yeah, well,
it was
PR thing
strictly
too, yeah.
for what they did to Lindor. It was going to be, we made him an offer. Even though it's a huge low ball offer, they want to say, we made an offer. He didn't accept it.
Now we trade him.
Now he's gone, just like what happened to Lindor.
Right.
But they want the fans to turn on the player because look at Indians fans last year. What did they do? They just shit on Lindor. He didn't have a very good season with the Mets, so all fans did was go, well, that's why he $300 million. How could you give him that kind of money? What a bum. They just talk shit. It was 1 year into his contract. They act like his career's over. His one bad year is just who he is for the rest of his life. Now with Jose, I kind of was feeling the same thing happening over and over again. I thought that's what we were going to do. Lowball him, get the fans to get on the side of management or ownership, I guess, and go, you know what, $100 million. I think they were offering him a $100 million deal for 5 years. So $20 million a year.
Right,
Which is
extreme low ball.
Which is low ball. Even this deal is a discount. It may not seem like it because it's a lot of money, but it is a discount. So I was kind of thinking they were going to do this. They wanted the fans to turn on him a little bit, side with the team, and go, these baseball players are too greedy. Why do they want these huge contracts? Let them go. Fuck them. And then we trade them.
Well, it just makes me laugh the fact that I feel like part of like Jose wanted to stay here. Like, I mean, how else do you accept this kind of deal if you weren't interested in staying with the team? Like, I feel like he could have been like, no, I'm worth far more than that, which he is.
Absolutely.
And I also feel like it's interesting that the Indians agreed to the no trade clause in the entire contract. Because, I mean, think about it. In a year or two, one of my friends made this post today on a post I made. It says, they're going to regret that no trade clause in a year or two when they really need to move him for pieces. And it's unfortunate. I'm really curious as to why they agreed to that. But no, I mean, I feel like, and we talked about this last Saturday briefly. We didn't get a chance to dig into it, but I think we both agree it's unfortunate that we have such a great player on this team, and these owners are not willing to put other pieces around him.
Absolutely. I mean, we said it on Saturday. I feel bad for Jose.
Right,
to an extent,
I do too.
Because he's this multi-talented player. He's great, one of the best players in baseball. Literally an MVP candidate.
At least
year in and
the
year
last
out.
2 years or 3 years, he's been like top 3.
Yeah, he's an MVP candidate, and he's stuck on a team that clearly doesn't put money into the product.
Right.
They're more worried about making themselves money than they are making a good team. They're
Right.
they're too busy bitching at the fans for not coming to games. They're too busy not spending money, trading good players, doing all these things. And then you have a player like Jose. You have a player like Lindor, who Lindor wanted to stay in Cleveland. He loved it here. He really did. And the Dolans wouldn't give him the money. And they shipped him off to the Mets, and he got that money.
Right.
It just goes to show you that teams will pay these players. It's like the Deshaun Watson thing, kind of. Other teams are pretending to be mad right now, but they're just mad that they didn't get that guy. So it's them pretending, and it's, again, with Jose, though, I'm happy that he's going to be here. It makes me really, really happy. Part of me wants to buy my first Guardians jersey to be a Jose Ramirez one.
Oh, no.
Because at least I have it for 5 years.
Can't buy
because
jerseys.
it's
You ruin
no trade.
jerseys.
Let's be honest. What are the Guardians going to do anyway? Does it matter? Does it matter?
First time you wear that jersey, he's breaking something.
We're going to go from 14 players with 0 major league experience to 15 if Jose goes down, because we'll just call somebody up. It's not.
Yeah, I feel like they have Jose now. They have their center attraction. They have it's like a circus. They have their main event. They have the guy who's going to sell the tickets, at least a little bit of the tickets. I think I saw today they still have 2,500 tickets not sold for opening day.
Yeah, they're very desperate. They're trying to do promotions. They're doing buy one get one for a future game. They're doing a lot of stuff because they're desperate right now. And I think
I did see the buy one get one and also get a chance to play in the team too. They're actually offering that promotion.
That's the April or May giveaway. They're
Oh,
waiting
I
till the
see.
weather gets a
Okay,
little bit
I jumped
nicer.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a bobblehead and play in the field.
It's a very big liability for fans to play in snow, so they have to wait till next month.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like they paid the money. They have their star player. Now they can say, look, we have our star player. We opened our checkbooks. I saw so many Twitter people today say, they opened their checkbooks. Why are you not happy? Well, I'm not happy because they spent a lot of money for him, which is right. I'm glad he's on our team.
Sure.
But why are they not willing to spend the money for the pieces? And it wouldn't be that expensive to go out and get a couple, mid-size, mid-level players that would complement Jose Ramirez, that would make this team at least competitive going forward. And they didn't do that.
What's up, Dave? What's up, Chipper? Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I look at it as you have Jose, you paid him. From my perspective, that doesn't deserve a parade
No,
for the Dolans.
absolutely
For
not.
me, that's expected. You have a great player on your team. You do whatever you can to keep him. So they did that. Now the next question or issue, I suppose, is where's the money for free agent?
Right.
Where's the money for a little bit more talent around Jose Ramirez? Why is he expected to do everything himself?
You had that money in the coffers to pay him, but you couldn't go out and spend extra money for
Right. And it's on record. I mean, it's public
Jacques
record.
Peterson, the guy who threw us under the bus. You know?
Yeah, he really did. I mean, they wanted him. They lowballed the shit out of him, and he said, "Fuck you" to the Guardians. And then he went
threw
on Twitter
every
and
team under
blasted
the
him,
bus. Yeah.
which rightfully so. Paying Bieber and Plesac, possibly. I mean, Bieber's a Cy Young winner. Bieber's going to want to get paid. He's going to want Jose Ramirez money, if not more. That's what pitchers make in Major League Baseball. So I'm curious to see if they're going to be willing to give him that money. I mean, that's a lot of money to give around for the Guardians.
Mike
They're
heard Puig
cheap.
is looking for a team. I thought he was on a team.
Yasiel Puig.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever got on a team at all.
Or is he just doing like side games? I mean, I would take him back as a bat, but I mean, I don't. That's all he is, just a bat.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, he would start in right field immediately, probably. Yeah, and that's the big issue with me for keeping Jose Ramirez for this huge contract. It's great. I couldn't be happier that Jose Ramirez is going to be a Guardian for the next 5 years at least. But what are they going to do around him? That's my biggest concern.
Third place in the division is where we just locked ourselves into going forward.
Basically, I mean, I can't imagine that this is going to turn them into a new team. This is literally the biggest deal they've ever made, and it is less than half of what some other players are getting.
Right.
And
His contract and his deal is at least it covers the rest of the team. Like he beats the rest of the team in their contract. Like what he's making, it's insane.
Yeah, he individually makes more than the entire team, the rest of the roster.
Looking to sell the team, they got to have an all-star in the team. I mean, they do. They have Shane Bieber too. He's still on the team.
Yeah, I mean, Bieber's there, Jose still there. They could sell the team this year, and Jose's still an all-star MVP candidate. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the future's going to hold with the Guardians. Does this mean that the Dolans are now going to be a spender or a buyer?
No.
Are they going to start bringing in people?
Absolutely not.
I don't know.
I think they made this deal, and now they're doing this. They're sitting back going, all right, we're done. We're good. Play the season. Terry, go out there and coach that team to a playoff. And we've done our part. We've opened the checkbooks like nobody said we could. We spent our money. We're good. You have a team, go coach the team.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then maybe come trade deadline, let's say the Guardians are competitive. Let's say they're second in division. They're 2 or 3 games out going into the All-Star week. Then you might see some moves. But I wholeheartedly believe, even the owners believe, they're not going to be in any type of running this year. So they're not going to waste the money bringing anybody in because what's it for?
I mean, the problem, though, with that, which I understand that's exactly what their thought process is, but what irritates me is that you have a guy like Terry Francona who's not getting any younger. He's not getting any healthier.
Right.
He obviously missed most of last season with health issues, and they're going to be consistent, I would think. That this
Talk
is
about
just,
Tito?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a sign of things to come with him. And he's not getting younger. He's the manager of this team. He's great. Give him some more. Let this guy go out with a bang. I mean, how close were we to winning the World Series in 2016, as I talked about when we opened the show?
We were there. We were there.
The next year, they signed Edwin Encarnacion to the biggest free agent deal in Indians history.
Like $60 million at the time.
And it didn't pan out. I mean, we made the playoffs, but that was it. Then they immediately traded him after that because they were like, fuck it, we don't want to pay this guy any more money. And then you have Terry Francona, who's one of the best managers in baseball history, who can clearly run a team. He's a leader of men.
Right.
The players listen. They play for him. They play hard. Give the guy a couple pieces. Let's let him try to win again.
I mean, he'll get the most out of this team.
Absolutely.
I made the joke just a little bit ago about who the hell are these guys in this roster right now. I feel like we're watching the Major League movie. Like you don't know who half these people
really
are.
is.
But I feel like he's going to get the most. He's going to get the most juice out of the squeeze here.
I think Dave's actually listing the starting lineup. Brandon Fitzpatrick, Kevin Seeds, Lisa Summers. Yeah, I think they're starting on tomorrow against the Royals.
I would believe that, but I think he's going to get the most out of them. I still don't believe they're going to finish any higher than third. I think the White Sox take the division. I think it's going to be Minnesota in second, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised, and I'll say this now, I would not be surprised if the Tigers don't beat us out too.
The Tigers have a young, hungry team, and they
absolutely.
They actually spent a little bit of money this offseason. So we're going to do all right, Chipper, you're running the show now? Jeez, you getting one little riff with Lee, and all of a sudden you think you're the producer. We are going to switch gears here and go to the Masters. I just figured Jose has to lead the charge here.
Jose.
So without further ado, for all you golf fans out there, which I don't understand, we're going to talk about the Masters. I'm going to have Tim switch the camera to Kyle.
Well, before we switch to me, have you never watched a golf match ever in your life?
Like 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay,
maybe.
are you not enthralled by Tiger Woods? Like, are you not a little bit curious about this man who literally almost lost his leg a year ago, coming out and playing in the granddaddy of them all when it comes to golf events?
No.
Not at all.
No, I honestly don't care one bit.
Okay, well.
I'll have a bunch of people. I'll go on Twitter. People are going to tweet the tiger emoji, and I'm going to look at it and think about Frosted Flakes because it's my favorite cereal. And then I'm going to go, oh, shit, they're talking about Tiger Woods. There's golf going on right now. And then I'm probably just going to turn on the Indians game or the Guardians game or whatever's on TV because it's baseball season starting up. Real sports.
I mean, all right. All right, let's get to the Masters. Fuck it. All right, here we go.
It is.
All right, for those of you who don't know, not only is it my birthday week this week, it is Masters week this week. So obviously, it's one of the biggest weekends in all golf. I mean, for those of us who love golf, I know some of you watching right now love golf. Chipper, huge golfer. I love golfing. I'm not great at it, but we enjoy watching the Masters. We all know a year ago, February 23rd, I believe it was, Tiger Woods got into a car accident. Was it his fault? Yes. Should he not have been speeding? We all agree. But we thought he lost his leg, and we thought he was going to lose his leg. And at the time, I think myself and everyone included said, he's done golfing. The best he's going to get is he might play in the senior tour in 2 or 3 years, and that's the best we're going to get. And then last November, we had a father-son tournament in the PGA. We had Tiger Woods playing with his son Charlie, who Charlie would probably beat my ass on the golf course, and a lot of our people who's watching right now's ass on the golf course. This kid's amazing. But you watch Tiger. He drove around in a golf cart. He swung. He looked like the Tiger kind of old. But we thought that was it. You know, that's the most we're going to get. Fast forward to, I think, 2 weeks ago, we had people, as we like to famously do, we were jet watching, like we did with Dan Gilbert back in the day, like we did with the Haslams with Watson. People were watching Tiger Woods jet, and he was flying from his home. I believe his home was, I think he was living in L.A. at the time, flying to Augusta, Georgia, or maybe coming from Jupiter, Florida, flying into Augusta, Georgia. And people are like, oh, he's there practicing. This could be a potential that he golfs. Lo and behold, today at 11 o'clock a.m., Tiger Woods announced he is in the tournament. And like he famously says, I don't enter a tournament if I don't believe I can win. So honestly, when Tiger jumps into a tournament, all eyes are on Tiger. All eyes are on this tournament. People watch it. People are just interested in it. And I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan of Tiger. I'm a huge fan of golf in general. But a couple fun facts. And of course, Justin, I'll ask you.
I have a question really
Absolutely.
quick before we start. Since you're on the topic of Tiger Woods, before you change subjects.
Yeah.
What drivers is Tiger using this weekend?
I believe it's the Callaway, actually.
No. I mean, what man is driving him around since it's not his strong suit?
Nice setup, by the way.
Thank you. All right, continue. I've been waiting on that one.
I like the setup there. Fuck, I fell for that too. I should have seen that coming. A couple fun facts about Tiger. Obviously, Tiger's not the favorite to win this weekend. Those of us who enjoy golf, we know that the top three right now to win is John Ram, Justin Thomas, and Justin Johnson. Tiger, I believe, is like a 20-1 or a 30-1 favorite to win.
Lee says 40-1 odds.
Lee said 41. Okay, I was a little close. 40-1. Okay, but still, I mean, Tiger's only missed the cut once. He's only missed the cut at the Masters once, and that was back in '96 when he was an amateur. So the odds are in his favor to at least make the cut. But then again, he wasn't playing on a half-broken leg at the time. Another fun fact about Tiger Woods, and since we're just sticking on this, he has won the Masters 5 times. He's only one behind the Golden Bear, as they call him, Jack Nicklaus.
I loved him in The Shining.
Wrong person.
Oh, sorry.
He's also.
I feel pretty. Not that one.
No, not that one. Sorry. Tiger Woods also won 15 majors. He's 4 behind again. Jack Nicklaus, who's won 18. Sorry, 3 behind. Who's won 18 of them. A couple fun things over this weekend. The fun thing I'm going to watch is he's going to make the cut. How's he going to do? It's going to be fun. They start tomorrow. Tee-off time, I think, is 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I know a lot of myself and a lot of other people included are going to be tuning in to watch this. But the one fun thing I wanted to say is that the Masters, and we all know about the history of the course, Augusta. We won't get too much detail. The one thing they have not changed in a very long time is their
policy on black people.
Yes, that too. Tim, any thoughts? I didn't think so. Anyways, so is their food menu? They don't charge much for food. So a lot of prices nowadays, obviously, for food are just huge at sporting events. They charge, and this has not changed in a long time, egg salad, $1.50. Barbecue sandwich, $3. The club sandwich, $3. Chicken salad on bread, $3. Ham and cheese on rye, $3. That's been the same price for the last, I think, 20-some years.
And I will order all 4.
Yeah, I would fuck that food up. That'd be the best part of my weekend if I
That's the
went
thing.
there.
Like, they don't change the food price. That's one of their lures is they want to stick with how it's been for the longest time, which is kind of cool.
Is there a sign above it that says the prices haven't changed since Lincoln abolished slavery? It's just hanging up really big.
Yes, absolutely. Since before we allowed Tiger on this course, the prices haven't changed.
I see Lee said that he volunteered to drive Tiger Woods, but no one responded. It's almost like someone fell asleep at the wheel on that one, Lee. Am I
Boom.
right? These jokes just write themselves when it comes to
Oh
Tiger.
yeah, I forgot the beer menu is also extremely cheap too. I think it's like $2 or $3 a beer, IPAs and whatever draft
Really?
beer too, which is crazy to me. But the long and the short is it's going to be a great weekend for us golf fans. It's interesting to see what happens. Do I think Tiger's going to win? I don't think he's going to win. I think he's going to make the cut. I think he'll be competitive, but it's also going to open up more conversation to see, does Tiger continue, or was this just a one-time thing where he wanted to kind of get that, as they say, Mamba mentality, where he wanted to come out and prove it to himself that he could still compete, even though he's hurt. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. It's a good time. And real quick, while we're on the boring subjects, as Justin likes to say, the United States men's soccer team, anybody? Cheers? Anybody? No? Okay. For the first time in 8 years, officially qualified for the World Cup.
By losing.
By losing, yes.
what it's-
I don't understand
what
golf.
kind of
I don't
fucking
understand soccer.
sport?
I really don't.
They lost, if I'm not mistaken, was it 3-0 they lost? I did
Yes.
see the score the other day because I saw it and I saw everybody was excited and I was like, I don't understand. Why are you cheering for them losing and getting
Right.
shut out? And everyone's like, well, by only losing by 3, they qualify for the World Cup.
It was, I mean, I think it was because they won the first 2 or 3 games, and just by that, it didn't matter what they did in the last game. But either way, it is funny. They lose a game and they qualify for it.
I just, I don't understand sports like that where you lose and it's something to be celebrated. I don't understand.
The weird part about this is the World Cup's being held in, I'm going to fuck this name up because I like doing it anyways, is I think Qatar over in India.
It's, isn't
Or
it?
Dubai. It's in Dubai.
Yeah. I
But-
think is it Qatar? You pronounce it
Qatar,
Qatar?
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's over. Is that Dubai or is that like?
I don't know. It's over in one of
anyways.
those oil countries.
Anyways, it's over in a really extremely hot part of the world. I guess that's why the World Cup's being held in December. But I guess the backstory is that while they were building these arenas and stadiums, so many fucking people died. And
Yeah, it's
there's
slave
like,
labor,
It's like
100%.
basically slave labor. People died on site. So while you're watching the World Cup this December, let's all just give it up for the fact that they're literally probably running over people's dead bodies while they're scoring goals.
Absolutely, literally built on graves of mass graves of people.
Yes. So let's.
I mean, that's a really good segue by Kyle because he went from one slave-based sport era or area with the Masters to another where slave labor killed a bunch of people recently. So
yes.
Yeah, all this master talk is making me a little scared.
My transitions tonight are on fire, so
Tim
we're
has
going to keep it
PTSD
going.
right now talking about all this.
I hope your guy's shirt isn't cotton.
I think it is actually. That's why it shrinks all the time. It's weird.
Yeah, mine was from a machine. It wasn't handpicked, so I had nothing to do with it.
So that's my 10 minutes on.
So do you have? We have people asking. Do you have a Masters pick? I'm sorry, did I miss who you said you think will win?
Oh, I think it's going to be.
I know you said not Tiger.
No, I don't think it's going to be Tiger. I think Justin Thomas is going to win it. He's yeah, there you go, Chipper. Yeah, Justin
Yeah,
Thomas.
Chipper has the same pick. You'll hear Chipper's pick on his new podcast starting next week.
I hope so. I'm going to tune in for that. Justin Thomas is Tiger's boy. They play together a lot. I think that he has the greatest chance. I think his odds are second to John Rahm, but I think Justin Thomas takes the win. Either way, it's going to be good. The weather's going to be interesting because I think 2 of the 4 days is rain and like below 60, so it's going to be quite interesting. Normally it's like 75, 80. And sunny down there, so that's going to play a factor too, especially for the older crowds such as Tiger, whose back fucks him up all the time. So it's going to be interesting to watch. I can't wait. I can't think of a better way to bring in my birthday while watching a bunch of old men knock white balls around in a course.
Is John Daly still golfing? I'm going to guess not.
He is still golfing.
Is he in the Masters?
I don't think he is in the Masters, but if you ever get a chance to watch and follow John Daly on social media, he's the man of all men. Fucking talk shit.
He's like one of the only
chugs
good
Miller
golfers I actually
Lights,
know, yeah.
golfs barefoot, swears up and down,
Smokes cigarettes. while he's
smokes
golfing.
cigarettes
Such
and
a
everything.
badass.
He's one of the only exceptions. He's allowed to drive a golf cart around. Any event he plays in, he's got the exception, lifetime exception. He can drive the golf cart around.
Less accidents than
Love
Tiger
it.
Woods, so more
Love
power
it.
to him.
Yeah, it's great.
I even though he's not in it, John Daly is my pick to win the Masters.
Okay, I like that pick.
I'm sticking with it.
good
I'm
pick.
taking the field basically.
You should put all your money on John Daly.
If that's an option, I would probably take it.
All right, I'm done ranting and boring you with golf talk now.
All right, everybody. I hope you guys are all pleased for the next 6 months on Golf Talk. It's a
We met our quota for the year.
once in a blue moon kind of thing. This is it. I think we've talked about golf twice so far since we've been doing the show, and that's twice too many.
Yeah, I hope this is the only master talk I have to hear.
Yeah, this is it. We are done with it. We are abolishing Masters just like they abolished slavery. It's gone forever. We're not talking about it anymore.
Golf's not bad though.
I'm glad somebody likes it.
I just can't get into it. It doesn't do it for me. All right.
Great segment. Thanks, Chipper. I'll sneak some more in sometime. Don't worry about it. I'll have to pay off extra money for it, but I'll get them.
Talk a lot of golf on Chipper's podcast coming out next week.
It's called The Chip.
Now, we are going to make a transition here, and we're going to talk about a real sport. College basketball. The national championship was just a few nights ago where Kansas, as you can see behind me, celebrating their victory over North Carolina. What a game. Did you guys watch all that?
Yeah, it was interesting. Did you? I mean, I winning into halftime. I was like, oh, this is in the bag.
15-point lead for North Carolina.
Yeah,
going
like
into halftime.
this is
So I thought the same thing. I actually,
crazy to me that
I was like, I changed the channel. I forgot the game was on because I'm like, all right, it's over.
There's no way
It's
they
over.
come back.
And they did. Kansas managed to come back. North Carolina, they had a decent season. It was kind of up and down. I know Dave's a North Carolina fan, so it probably hurt him a little bit to watch that game on
He
Monday
posted
night.
a lot about North Carolina last week.
I like North Carolina basketball because I'm a Michael Jordan fan, so personally they're my favorite
That's your
basketball
only
team.
connection, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just growing up, I loved Michael Jordan, so I decided to fall in love with North Carolina.
Vince Carter for me.
And yeah, Vince Carter too. As years progressed, they had really talented
Jerry
players.
Stackhouse. Anybody else? No.
Nah, I'll take Antoine Jameson.
Okay.
But yeah, so I like North Carolina, but I'm not like a diehard. It's like my love for Ohio State football. I like them, but when they lose and everything, it doesn't ruin my weekend. Like, it is what it is. So North Carolina losing the game definitely sucked, but it was a really good game. The back and forth, the nail-biting action at the end of the game, just everything you want out of a national championship, because as you said, it was looking like a blowout early. It looked like a game where it's going to be a 20-point lead and Kansas has no shot, so might as well turn it off. It's going to kill ratings.
Right.
Next thing you know, Kansas comes roaring back, and they did that multiple times in the tournament.
Second half team, yeah.
Yeah, they came back from huge deficits. They're a really good team. That's why they were a 1 seed. That's why they won the championship. I think North Carolina kind of overachieved a little bit. If I'm not.
I mean, they were an
if I'm being
8
honest.
seed, so I mean,
Yeah, I don't really think they had any business being in the championship. I feel like they would have had a harder time getting past Kentucky had Kentucky not gotten knocked out by St. Peter's. In my opinion, I had Kentucky going a little bit further. I mean, I had Baylor going a little bit further too, and Purdue I think could have beat North Carolina, but that pesky St. Peter's David took out a lot of Goliaths in the tournament.
Mike, I don't know who won the bracket. Chipper hasn't told us. He just said he passed out money already, so I'm not quite sure.
So it was an anonymous payment.
It went to Chipper's pockets.
I mean, he's got to fund his new podcast.
Speaking of winning money, 2 things I saw the stories of is somebody lost $1 million on the spread because of the out of bounds call late in the game.
Ooh.
In Vegas, somebody lost $1 million because that did not cover the spread when they didn't score.
That would suck.
And
I
the
would
other-
be fucking devastated.
Right. And then the other one is, remember that Mattress Jack guy who always makes these famous bets on all these tournaments and stuff? He bet at $8.86 million on Kansas, ended up walking away with $12.1 million.
Because he always does those deals where it's like, which of course he gets it insured, he has it backed, so he'll make a deal and he'll say like, if a team loses, then I'm giving away $2 million worth of mattresses or something like that.
Right.
And he has it all insured, so if it happens, I mean, it's a smart, great tactic.
Sure.
Every big event you hear
I've
about
seen him
Mattress Mac.
lose a lot, though. I mean,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
lost a lot of money.
But again, when he does these bets, I forgot who was talking about it. It might have been a local radio show or something. And they were talking about how he insures that. So if he loses the bet, he gets all the money back for all the product and everything.
Can
he's
we
given
do
away.
that as normal people? Can we?
We need his accountant.
Any bet
think
that
we
I
could
make,
figure
can
it
I
out.
just insure it?
Yeah, I need his accountant for sure.
Mike, you won? I didn't know that. Congratulations on all of
Oh,
your
no shit.
success.
Yeah, we couldn't be happy for you. I mean, I won my work bracket, but I'm not up here bragging about it. I mean,
I know,
it is
right?
what it
Who
is.
fucking cares, Mike? Stop talking.
I actually thought my bracket was busted last weekend, so I crumbled it up and threw it away.
And you
Here
won?
2 weekends ago, and then I came to work, and they're like, "Yeah, you're actually up." And if whatever teams in the Final Four, they were like, "If North Carolina wins and Duke loses, then you win." I was like, "No shit." Next thing you know,
Such a humble winner you are.
I'm not on here telling the world like Mike.
Yeah, setting me up with who won our bracket?
Make it
I
a guessing
did.
game with like, "Hey, guess who?" Like I won, but I mean, I'm humble. That's just who I am as a person.
I mean, that's a stretch, but
I left the Jay Genie hat at home, so you're not going to get any of that out of me.
But you know what? I will say the entire
Yeah, no,
March.
Mike, I don't brag because actually my bracket sucked. I had
Shocking.
I had Gonzaga winning the championship.
I think
against
we
Kansas.
all did though.
So I don't want to brag about it because I didn't get my bracket right. I just had the most points. It's not as exciting to me. If I nailed the championship and the Final Four, that I'd be on here bragging for sure. But winning by default, it is what it is. I'll take the $200.
Yeah, I think the entire March Madness was interesting though. A lot of upsets,
Huge. I mean,
a
everyone's
lot
bracket
of
was
deep
fucked.
runs that we had no idea we're going to make. A lot of brackets were broke after the first weekend, so it made for very entertaining TV and games.
It really did. Most games were, down to the wire, very close games,
Right.
not a lot of blowouts. A lot of underdogs won, which is something you don't see that often. I mean, St. Peter, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they went the furthest that, I forgot what seed they were, 13 or something, 15. They went the furthest that
They're the only
15
15 seed to
ever
make
gone.
the Sweet Eight or whatever. The
Elite Eight.
Elite
So
Eight,
we got to see history,
right.
which, I mean, it sucks that it was St. Peter because
Nobody
we'll
cares.
probably never do it again. It's not a big deal.
I think we've been spoiled this year with just playoff sports in general. Over the football, playoff football was amazing. Now we got March Madness, which was amazing. So
It almost makes you think that there's
can't wait to be let down by
a
baseball.
little bit of a conspiracy. Well, baseball might be even more interesting because they've expanded the playoffs.
I mean, basketball's next, but yeah.
And basketball could be exciting, which, speak of the devil, let's segue into that.
Boom, transition. Here we go.
The NBA playoffs are getting ready to start, and obviously we have the play-in tournament. They've expanded it to a 10th team. So as you see behind me here on the board, you can't see behind Kyle there, but at the bottom you have the Nets and the Cavaliers as the 7 and 8 seed. You have the Hawks and the Charlotte Hornets as the 9 and 10 seed. In the Western Conference, you have the Minnesota Timberwolves and the LA Clippers 7 and 8, and the New Orleans Pelicans, San Antonio Spurs 9 and 10. Now,
There, I kind of moved a little bit.
yeah, you're good. We could see it. We read it off. It's all good. As you can see, though, as the arrows are lining up, you have the 7 and 8 seed playing. Right now, it's the Cavs against the Nets. Cavs would be the home team, and if the Cavs win, they advance. Loser gets to play in a second game against the winner of 9 and 10. So it sucks. The Lakers are out. They've given up. LeBron wants fucking out of there so bad. Russell Westbrook was a horrible move. Unfortunate. When you see a guy like LeBron James, you want to see him in the playoffs every year. But that team's just not good. I mean, they have nothing. It's AD, kind of Westbrook, LeBron, and nothing. It's a shame. But the Cavs, however, have locked in a spot. They will not make the quote-unquote playoffs. They are going to be a play-in team. And, yeah, I mean, that's the problem. The Cavs, Ken Carman, local radio guy, 92.3.
Name drop.
He said it best. He said, you can't be mad at this Cavaliers team. They just ran out of gas.
But we all knew that. We
100%.
talked about that beginning of the year.
They blew their load.
That we said that this cannot sustain the rest of the season. There's something's going to happen, whether it's going to be injuries, whether it's going to be they're going out of gas,
Yeah.
whether it's going to be the defense is going to start just giving up more points because they don't have the legs, a lot of young talent. Evan Mobley is a rookie. He's not used to playing this many games.
Yeah, I mean, he
we set it
practiced
off.
today. He's expected to play. I think they play the game tomorrow night. He's expected to come back, which is good.
Right.
Jared Allen, not looking good. It's not looking like he's returning this year. Unfortunately, his finger hasn't healed the way they expected, which is a bummer. And, yeah, I mean, as soon as Allen went down, we were done. That's what screwed us. Even with Mobley's in a bit of a rookie slump. But without Allen, we're fucked. That's just the end of it. So the one good thing, though, is it looks like we're going to be able to hold on to that seventh seed, I hope.
I'm not enjoying who we have to play, though.
No, I think the Nets are losing right now, though, to the Knicks. The Nets are playing horrible basketball, let's be honest. They have a really good team, but they're playing very bad basketball. Ben Simmons isn't going to play for them. That was a bad trade. They have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, but their team plays zero defense. And if the score stays, like I said, they were losing to the Knicks a little bit ago when I was watching.
How did the Cavs lose last night? I don't understand that game.
It's just the Magic are tanking. The Magic are one of the worst teams in basketball.
You would
the Cavaliers
assume that was a win in the books for us.
Just too many injuries. I mean, we got a lot of guys that shouldn't be getting a lot of minutes that have to unfortunately play a huge role in the team. Rather 9th or 10th seed, I don't want to play the Nets. I hear you, but the one good thing about it, though, is that you play the Nets, and if you win, which the Cavs have proven they can beat the Nets this year, you automatically advance. If you lose as the 7 or 8 seed, you get a second chance against one of those teams. So you're going to see 9 or 10 if you lose.
I don't know. What did Lee say? I didn't see what Lee said. Lee Money.
He said, wow, go figure, turn my back on every team, wants out of LA now. Why wouldn't Cleveland take back one of the best players in the league?
Who are you talking about? We're back in LeBron talk?
Yeah. He said, why would anyone want LeBron? I mean, for the right price. Don't get me wrong. I'm not blowing up this team to get LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not Mr. Turn My Back. It's actually really smart because he can organize a team the way he can.
What?
Look at what he did when he left Cleveland the first time. We've talked about it before. I'm not going to dwell on it. The Cleveland Cavaliers at the time when LeBron was here the first time weren't putting a good product around him. Look at the 2007 finals. Look at how much LeBron had to carry on his shoulders
Talking about
by
that
himself.
team was solid.
Yeah, when
Future
Sasha-
Hall of Famers, baby.
When Sasha Pavlovic, he couldn't even be a ticket taker at the Hall of
Booby
Fame.
Gibson, hello.
Yeah, exactly. Shoot, booby, shoot yourself and get the fuck out of the league.
Renewable.
Damon
Yeah,
Jones,
Hyman Newell was a starter.
Jamin Jones, no D, no J. That guy, remember him?
Z was out there playing with 1 foot.
Drew Gooden.
Yeah, God, those teams suck.
Is that Carlos Boozer time back then,
No,
too?
Boozer was off.
Boozer
Oh,
left.
he's gone, that's right.
That was when he screwed us over. He never played with LeBron here. He screwed over
That's
Gordon
right,
Gunn.
he did, yeah.
He left in 03.
Yep. So, yeah, but back to LeBron. When he leaves teams, it's part of the way
Larry
to build
Hughes.
the championships. Because, yeah, honestly, Larry Hughes, they gave Larry Hughes good money,
Yeah.
and he sucked. They just didn't put good pieces around LeBron.
Eric
so he
Snow.
left. Eric Snow wasn't bad. I liked Eric Snow, especially when he was in Philly with AI. That was my boy.
You're my boy, Blue.
But you have LeBron go to Miami. They load the team around him. He wins a couple championships. And during that time, that gives the Cavaliers the chance to build the team that they had with the draft picks of Kyrie Irving, with the assets they acquired
Right.
to get Kevin Love, to build this dynasty that they turned into for 4 years to get a championship.
So you think he left again only to want to come back knowing that this team is now going to be built?
Yeah, because
this talk's null and void because he's still under contract with the Lakers for
Yeah.
another year. So
Yeah, and then he had to leave the second time because the salary cap situation was fucked from the championship. As you saw what happened
Right.
look at how bad it went with J.R. Smith getting out of here. Look at how bad it was.
hey, props to
Since-
JR though. He's gone out there and got his degree and he's playing golf now.
He
and
should be in the
Good
Masters.
for
I
him.
think I'd watch it.
He would not make the Masters.
If J.R. Smith was in the Masters, I would watch it.
I see. That's where you draw the line.
You would say Durant or Curry is the best player in the league. I'm going to disagree with you on that one personally. Kevin Durant's really good, but I mean, how can you say LeBron's not one of the greatest because the Nets are barely struggling to
Well,
survive
are we
into
talking
the
the
playoffs?
last 10 years? I think it's LeBron. Are we talking this year?
Yeah, this year LeBron's not the MVP.
No.
I'm not
He's
saying
not the
that.
best in this year, but I mean, over the last 10 years, if
Yeah,
we're
I
going to
said
do
one of
like
the best players in the league right now.
Yeah, collective. I mean, I think LeBron overall. I mean, this man is like, 92 years old, and he's throwing up, averaging 35 points a game sometimes, 32
He
points
is,
a game.
as of right now, he's going to lead the scoring
Yeah,
title.
that's
He's going to win
at
the scoring
his
title.
age, that's insane.
Yeah, that's why he wanted to do it. He wanted a scoring title to show everybody that he can do it. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see him come back. He's winning points per game. Yeah, exactly. People are saying he's washed up. He's a points per game leader in the NBA, and that just goes to show you that he's not the problem in LA. Everyone wants to just blame him because the team sucks around him. Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. The guy gets hurt brushing his teeth. Russell Westbrook, some days he looks like one of the best basketball players on the planet. The next day he looks like he was on the 07 Cavaliers, and he wasn't named LeBron James. You can't blame LeBron. I implore you, for those of you that are hating on LeBron James right now, watch some highlight videos from the Lakers this year. There's a sequence that I watched the other day on
They have highlight
on
videos?
Instagram.
That's crazy.
Well, it's not a highlight, trust me. It's a series where LeBron got like 3 offensive rebounds on one possession, passed it to wide open people. They missed every shot. Like, what more do you want the guy to do? He's literally single-handedly trying to lead this team, and they just
Instead
suck.
of passing, you should have scored.
Yeah, I guess that's his only option at this point is to go straight Kobe mode and just shoot it every time.
So you see this bracket behind us. This I know we're not going to get too deep into it right now, but who do you got winning?
Ooh, that's tough.
Just a quick check. Who you got
I
coming
was
out of the
planning on
West?
doing this next week.
I figured, but I mean,
Spoiler
just
alert.
a quick.
I mean, off the top of my head, I think the Suns are the team to beat again. They're really good. Chris Paul might. Is this the year Chris Paul gets his ring?
No.
Probably not, based on his track record. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to come down to the Suns for the West. I just think they're a really good overall team. It's going to be hard for me to find anybody.
You don't have to pick a winner. Just whoever your West
East
and your
is
East
wide
is.
open. So I mean, the East, honestly, I'm gonna have to do some serious digging on that because it's anybody's game. I don't think the Heat are legitimate contenders personally. The Sixers are very Jekyll and Hyde, so I don't really want to pick them. The Bucks are getting really hot at the right time. They won the championship last year, so they have that like presence. They have the experience of being in the finals. So I guess gun to my head, I would say a repeat of last year's finals. I would go Bucks and Suns.
That's kind of where I was at too. The Celtics confused me a little bit. I don't know how they maintained staying in the second seed and how they've done. I know they've come on late in the year.
Yeah, they came on late.
I just don't think they can sustain that through. But I honestly, I think my pick to the finals, at least right now, we'll get more into it next week, are the Bucks and the Suns.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised right now if the Warriors don't work themselves into the finals somehow, some way.
Yeah, no, honestly, the East is wide open, and the Warriors. I don't know. I don't think the Warriors have the depth to go all the way, and I also don't think they're playing the championship level defense that they used to play back in the day.
Right.
I also think that they were kind of a fluky team, and this is just me being a little biased because I hate them because they beat us in 2015 without Kevin Durant, and I think that they were kind of overrated, if I'm being honest, without Durant.
Who chokes more, Chris Paul or James Harden?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say James Harden because he's been playing like shit lately. Chris Paul usually doesn't choke. What happens with Chris Paul is he has a really good series, and then he gets hurt. It never fails. He gets hurt every year
or he
in the
fouls
playoffs.
out of the game, too. He has a lot of those games, too.
He usually puts up really good numbers. It's James Harden is the one to keep an eye on because he hasn't really been that great of a fit for Philly as of late. When he first went there, he's been great. Yeah, I think Curry is still hurt. If I'm not mistaken. Good point, Mike. But overall, even if Curry was healthy, I just don't think that the Golden State Warriors, as they're currently assembled, are a real threat to win a 7-game series against most of those teams.
Either way, it's going to be interesting. And before we move on, what is your true thoughts of this play-in series? Are you a fan of it? Because honestly, it took me a minute to do all the math in the world to figure out exactly how it worked.
No, I mean, it's relatively easy. So you have your 7 and 8 seed, winner
Right.
advances. Winner gets the 7 seed locked. The loser of the 7-8 seed goes against the winner of the 9-10, and the winner of that one game gets the 8.
So do you like
So
the
it's pretty
fact that
simple.
most teams seem to make the playoffs and this whole play-in series? I mean, do you enjoy this play-in series? I mean,
If the Cavs had the 6 seed, I love it.
okay.
The Cavs had the 7 seed, so no, I fucking hate it because it reminds me of the Indians when they had the
one
wild card
game
game
with
against
the Rays.
I talked about it on Saturday with Danny Salazar. I hate it. I don't like the fact that the Cavs had such a good season and it could literally end on 2 quick losses.
Right.
If they play like they did yesterday against the Magic, then they're done. I mean, they're not going to beat the Nets and they're not going to beat. I would assume the Hawks could beat the Charlotte Hornets. I would think. But, I mean, with
So
the
if
Hawks,
they lose against the Nets, they play the winner of this?
Yes.
And then
So
whoever.
even if the Cavs lose, they automatically get to play a second game and have another chance.
So it's just a one and done, you're in.
But it's going to be against the Atlanta Hawks, who the Cavs just played last week and got blown out by them.
Right.
So I'm not looking forward to this play-in tournament for the Cavaliers, honestly. I think this is the worst time for them to have a play-in game.
Buckle up. It's going to be a very long playoff series. I mean, playoff for the NBA. It's crazy how long it's going to be.
Yeah, the internet's a horrible place to discuss basketball, honestly. I'm with you, Lee. I saw that the people are saying Draymond could lock up some of the greatest players of all time. There's no fucking way. There's literally no chance. Shaq would eat Draymond Green for breakfast. It wouldn't even be close.
Did
You have to kick him in the nuts.
Did you see Shaq the other day?
And I don't even think that would phase Shaq, honestly.
Did you see Shaq the other day on the TNT show where they were talking about the future Hall of Famers in the Lakers, and he refuses to crown Howard as a potential Hall of Famer?
He hates Dwight Howard. I find that kind of funny.
They're like,
honestly.
yeah, there's 3 Hall of Famers. It's like, yeah, no, there's 4 Hall of Famers. Like, no, there's 3.
Yeah, only 4.
No, there's 4. There's 3. And they named all these people. It's like, yeah, there's 3. And so they finally got into the fact he's talking about Howard. He's like, no, I stick with it. There's 3.
He doesn't like him. I mean, it is kind of funny that Dwight Howard was kept out of the 75 overall players, and he's really not given a lot of credit. If you look back at what Dwight Howard did in his prime in Orlando, he really was a great player.
Yeah, in Orlando.
He was one of the greatest defensive players of all time. He carried that team to the finals. They beat the LeBron James and the Cavaliers. Dwight Howard is a really, really, really good player who deserves a little bit more recognition than he's actually getting.
Maybe a little bit more, but I don't think he's Hall of Fame worthy.
I think he is. He did enough. When you win Defensive
so?
Player of the Year, I think he won an MVP, if I'm not mistaken, took his team to the finals, got a ring with the Lakers. I mean, what more do you need on your resume?
I don't think he has enough. I mean, like, he did go to the finals, and the game that they played definitely suited him because it was him in the center and 4 shooters.
Absolutely. The NBA, they adapted to him because
Yeah.
they realized that what he does is he clogs up the paint, and they had guys like Hedo Turkoglu, Michael Petras. They had really good shooters around him.
Turkoglu.
They had Nelson.
Yeah, Jameer Nelson.
They had you said Michael Petras, I think.
Yeah, they had a really good team, and then even then though, overall that team wasn't that great.
Rashard Lewis, I think, was there.
Yeah, he was. Right? That was before he started fucking LeBron's wife, allegedly.
Allegedly.
A lot of classic jokes about LeBron, but yeah, no, Dwight Howard. I mean, do I think he's a first ballot lock Hall of Famer? No, but I think he would deserve to get in just by his credentials.
I think Shaq's going to go to the grave making sure he doesn't get in, though.
Well, he better die quickly then, because I don't think Dwight Howard's gonna be playing forever. He's looking a little washed up these days.
I would love to see a prime Shaq versus prime Dwight. Be interesting. I mean, Shaq wins it all the time, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah, just by sheer size, Shaq's so much heavier. Like you could just body him down. But Dwight Howard, I mean, don't get me wrong, he was jacked in his prime.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only Shaq that loses against him is Boston Shaq.
Cavalier Shaq wasn't in great shape either.
Yeah,
Let's be honest. I think he came here and realized Cleveland has some good restaurants, and he wasn't afraid to eat at them.
I mean, Orlando Shaq was the beast, the athletic, jump over people type Shaq. The Laker Shaq was the prime creme de la creme.
Absolutely.
Shaq, where he was just everything, the beast down low. He was athletic, but I mean, those two right there. But anything past the Lakers Shaq, yeah, he's definitely took the.
Heat Shaq was good.
Oh, that's right.
That's
I forgot
true.
about
Yeah,
the
he
Heat
helped
Shaq.
Dwayne
Yeah,
Wade get that
yeah.
ring. I did forget that he went there. Yeah, that was a good time. Shaq, I mean, unfortunately, age just catches up with you, and that's what happened with Shaq. Especially when you're that big, you eventually start slowing down, and that's how it goes.
Yeah, I forgot he went to the Suns too.
He did. He was with the Suns,
Sun Shaq,
Cavs,
Shaq,
the
Boston.
Celtics. He bounced around.
Baby
man.
Davis
I think
Shaq
that
out
was
there.
it. Yeah, Glenn Big Baby Davis. I fucking hated him. All right, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to go to Major League Baseball because tomorrow is opening day, ladies and gents.
Who's excited?
I'm not going to lie to you. I Googled today, like, the schedule for when opening day was coming. I didn't know it was tomorrow.
You didn't know it was
honestly.
tomorrow?
Honest to God, no. I thought it was next week.
That's home openers next week. Yeah.
Right. I thought the season started next week, too.
You're not going to get up tomorrow morning and have your baseball gear and ready to go, excited for the
No,
opening day kickoff.
The game's at 4. I'll be out of work, and I'll be fine. I'll go home and watch it. It's going to be mostly me going, who the fuck is that? Who?
Who
Where
the
did we
fuck
get
is
him?
that guy?
Yeah, I'll be Googling.
It'd be like
where did
that.
he
It'd be
come
like
from?
a skit back in the day. Who's on first?
It literally, but it's no joke. It's literally going to be me going, who the fuck?
Who just got a hit? Tell me more about this guy. Throw his resume up on the screen.
I already warned my wife because she's not the biggest baseball fan, and usually when we go to games, she spends a lot of her time going, who's this guy? Well, I never heard of him. And I said, just so you're aware, you're going to be doing that a lot this year. And I said, and you're not going to be alone because I'll probably be doing it as well.
You'll
where
both
I
be
have
on
to
your
go,
phones
"Who?"
Googling the history of these players in the team.
It's unfortunate, but that's just how the Indians or Guardians are. They're going again. I said earlier in the episode, 14 guys on the opening day roster, 0 Major League Baseball experience. Usually you roll with a few. You have a couple of young guys. You want to get them some Major League experience. You want to have some rookies, some young talent. We're going 14. That's crazy to me. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
Kazam Shack was really good. That's a good movie. Underrated.
My name is Kazam. I got the whole plan.
No, you're fine. I like that movie a
jump
lot.
in. That's cool.
When that kid got the rain shower of cheeseburgers and junk food, I love that scene. As a little kid, I was like, why can't that happen to me?
Did you ask for it?
I never found a magic lamp. I'm still looking. Jay Genie doesn't grant wishes.
I was like, where does Jay Genie come from? Where'd you find him at?
He just tells you the truth. That's what
Oh,
he
I
does.
see. He just came up straight out just to your door.
He's like a fortune teller. Except he waits till the fortune already came true to rub it in your face. That's what Jay Genie does, and that's why I love him. But he doesn't grant wishes,
that
unfortunately.
giant asshole.
If I had the receipt, I'd send him back, but unfortunately, I'm stuck with him. But yes, we're going to talk about Major League Baseball. We have our predictions because the season does get underway tomorrow. Let's start with it. Let's go Cy Young first.
I feel like it's been a long time since we talked baseball.
It has. It's almost like there was a lockout.
It's crazy, right?
It's delayed a couple of weeks.
Cy Young.
We would have done this segment a few weeks ago, but
That's true. Those
thanks
fucking
to the
lockouts.
Players Association, here we are.
We doing AL or NL first?
Dealer's choice. I'll let you decide. Start us
I'll
off.
kick off with the AL since we are a AL division. I kind of toss the idea around a lot, but I think the only person I'm thinking of right now is going to win it. I think it's going to be Garrett Cole. I think he, I'm not saying he's a lock for it, but I think he has the greatest chance to win the Cy Young this year.
That's a good choice. Yeah, how many times did we get no hit last year? Was it 4? I mean, we tied the record, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought we beat the record, but they weren't going to count that one game
Yeah, they
because it
didn't
was
count the
7
one because
innings.
it was only a 7 innings. So I thought technically
So we
that means
technically
we
tied
it. So
but in theory, we beat the record.
we beat it with an asterisk next to it. But yeah, we got no hit
I think
a
it was
lot.
4. I think it was 4 times.
And I think that's the reason that they brought up, I forgot his name. It's like Chen or something like that.
Oh, that's the reason.
I know, we need Greg Sherwood here, our baseball expert. And unfortunately, Greg, this was kind of a last minute. I honestly didn't know the season started today. Otherwise, I would have had you on here. But maybe next week, if you're free, Greg?
Greg, you were asking too much for your salary to bring you on tonight, so let's talk more about
Yeah,
that.
the Dolans actually asked us to contribute to the Jose Ramirez contract, so we are short on cash right now.
These are just predicts, Greg.
strapped.
So we would love to have you on next week if you're free, and we'll talk more detail baseball then.
Absolutely. So, yeah, there's a guy that the Guardians are actually trying to promote. I forgot his name. It's like Chen or Yen or something like that. And they're talking about how he's just a great contact hitter.
Oh,
They're like, yeah, this guy just he makes contact.
just puts the bat in the ball.
That's it. So maybe that's they're going with these young guys that can just hit the ball because they're trying to not get no hit, which is smart. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was pretty fucking embarrassing.
We don't want
last
that
year.
record again
We
this
got no
year?
hits so many times last year. It was honestly embarrassing.
But yeah, so ALC Cy Young, I'm going with Garrett Cole as my pick, early pick.
So I thought about that. Garrett Cole obviously is a great pitcher. However, when they cracked down on that sticky shit last year,
Sure.
he sucked. He wasn't very good. He went downhill. So for me, I need to see him play well without the sticky shit. Now, however, Quan, that's it. I was in the ballpark. I was close enough.
Oh, Stephen Kwan.
Sure. I don't know. His name could be fucking Carl for all I know. Carl Quan. That sounds like a nice name. Nice wholesome name. But yeah, so I thought about Garrett Cole, but he really went downhill after they cracked down on the sticky shit.
The sticky tack.
However, so did other players. Shane
Sure.
Bieber
Yeah.
immediately got hurt. James Karinchak sucked. Jacob deGrom couldn't stay healthy after they got rid of it. So a lot of pitchers you can show or you can tell were really relying on that, and they needed to change the way they threw the ball. Their mechanics had to change, and doing it mid-season like that clearly fucked a lot of them up. And it kind of showed their true, I won't say true colors, but it took them out of being dominant pitchers.
Are you about to tell me a guy right now who doesn't use sticky tack? That's who you're going to pick?
No, I'm picking a guy that I think did use it and it fucked up his season last year, but I'm sticking with the hometown. I'm going Shane Bieber.
Shane Bieber for the AL
doing it.
Cy Young.
Now, hear me out here. I want to talk this into existence.
Oh, you're going to? Okay. All right.
Shane Bieber won the Cy Young during the COVID year.
He did?
I was on record for saying I don't know if Shane Bieber's really that good of a pitcher. I think it's more during the COVID year, we were playing a lot of the AL Central, and they sucked. Most of them sucked.
Right.
Those teams were not good. So Shane Bieber was really taking advantage of just playing lesser
Bad teams.
talent.
Yeah.
So last year, he was fine. Then he got hurt because they got rid of the sticky tack. So now I'm going to go back to Shane Bieber. I'm going to speak this into existence. I want Shane Bieber to prove me wrong, that it wasn't a fluke in 2020. He's actually a really good pitcher. And I'm going to pick him to win the Cy Young.
So you don't believe he's going to win. You're just hoping he wins.
A little bit of both. I
Okay.
think my other concern with him too is that what's really going to hurt him is he is not going to get run support is my fear, my huge fear.
Yeah.
So
there's no way we're going to put runs on the board to help him win games.
that's what I'm worried about is he might go out there and throw, an 8-inning gem, give up 2 or 3 runs, but
I thought
that's a
about
wrap.
Greinke, Greg. I really did because he's going back to Kansas City, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about that. I just don't think he has it in him for the entire
I
year.
saw there's a couple guys that I don't know. Maybe it shows you how little I pay attention to baseball, I guess. But I saw a couple. I won't say Vegas picks, but it was just around the league. It was from ESPN. They were having people vote on who they would give a vote towards for their Cy Young pick, and like Chris Sale had a couple votes.
Yeah.
Do people really think Chris Sale could win a Cy Young again? I kind of thought
I
he was a little
guarantee you
washed.
Googled to see if he still played baseball, didn't you?
Yeah, oh yeah, immediately. I was like, I thought he retired like 3 years ago. So I was shocked when I saw that there are people legitimately picking Chris Sale that they think could win the Cy Young.
Were these kids they were asking this
It
question?
was on
to?
ESPN. It was.
Oh,
I'm guessing
really?
It was legit.
Interesting.
Major League Baseball beat reporters.
Wow.
But so my pick's gonna be Shane Bieber.
All right.
And then I will get us into the National League.
Do it.
I'm going Max Scherzer. I think the
Good
change
pick.
of scenery going with the Mets.
The
I
Mets,
think the Mets
yeah.
they're all in. Stephen Cohen is not fucking around. He's paying a lot of money.
But your Mets your
wants to
your
win.
Mets friends are excited.
Oh,
aren't
they're
they?
fired up. However, they did get the bad news of Jacob deGrom is hurt again. Go figure.
Yeah.
So they are very devastated about that.
Was he their number one to start the season, or was?
Oh yeah,
Scherzer?
Jacob deGrom is their ace for sure. Scherzer's great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you have a literally 1A, 1B. You don't have a 1 and 2 with those guys. But he's hurt, so it is Max Scherzer's team to carry now. And I think with Max Scherzer's pitching ability, and I think the Mets may be healthy. I think Lindor turns his career around a little bit, and I think the Mets are going to be a team to keep an eye on, and especially Max Scherzer. I'm going NL Cy Young, Max Scherzer, first year in New York.
Solid pick. I like that. Mine came down to 2. I was back and forth in these 2. I was either going with Zach Wheeler out of Philly,
Yep.
or Carlos Rodon out of the Giants. But I'm going to go with Zach Wheeler for NL pick for Cy Young out of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah.
I was brain twisted for a second. I'm like, what?
I was waiting to see which team you were going to say,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
Eagles.
I think he's got it right.
The
He knows-
Eagles. The Eagles. Yeah, but no, I think Zach Wheeler wins it. just my pick. I don't know. I mean, he's a great pitcher. He did great last year, great
Sure.
year before. So I don't see why not. And he almost came close last year too. So we'll see what happens.
All right, let's go MVP before we do champions.
AL or NL?
Again, dealer's choice.
I'm gonna go AL first, and I was between two of them, but I'm gonna go with the team that and not to give spoiler, I think this guy's gonna get a ring this year too. I'm going Vlad Jr. as AL MVP. I think this kid's gonna have a hell of a year. He's had a hell of a year the last couple of years. Well, you like him. He's a great baseball player.
I'm a bigger fan of his dad personally. I love Vladimir Guerrero, one of my favorite players of all time.
But I think Vlad Jr. is gonna take the MVP this year.
I could see that absolutely. He actually is my pick as well for the American League. Yeah,
interesting.
We're on the same page. I think Vlad Jr. is a great player.
My other one was Ohtani, is kind of just because I think he's gonna have a good year too. But
So I think he could, and they changed the rule to where he can pitch and play in the field, so they don't have to take him out of games and shit like that. So he's only going to get more at bats and up his stats. My thing though, that this is just a gut feeling. Again, it's kind of like the Bieber pick. I don't want to speak this into existence. I don't wish injuries on people unless they're on a rival team and I really fucking hate them. I have no ill will towards Shohei Ohtani. However, he gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So he had a great year last year. He stayed healthy, won the MVP, was phenomenal. For some reason, I've got this weird gut feeling of this could be the year he gets hurt again.
I don't see him keeping up with what he does for the next. I think maybe he's got 3 more years left in him of doing pitching and hitting, and then he's going to have to make a decision. I think the decision is going to be moving to just hitting.
Oh, he's going to bat for sure. Yeah, you have a longer career.
I just don't see him keeping this up. I think this year, maybe 2 or 3 more years.
I could see that
is the sweet spot of him doing both, and then he's just going to switch over to 100% to hitting.
Yeah, again, I'm just kind of going with my gut feeling, and
I could see that though.
He hasn't been hurt in a while. He's kind of known for getting hurt. That was kind of his thing. Like he was up, he was a huge, the talk of the town, and then he's hurt. So that's my gut. I think if he stays healthy, I still think Vlad Jr. could win the MVP. He might have that great of a season because Toronto is loaded. They are early predicted to at least make a long run in the playoffs. You never know in the postseason, whatever baseball wants to call it. But yeah, Vlad Jr. is a great player. Ohtani's a great player. I just went with my gut, going Vlad Jr.
I like it.
Now we switch over to National League. Got a little bit of a wild card here. This one's going to cut deep for our boy Chipper. He can maybe talk about it on his new show whenever that debuts. I'll look forward to it.
The Chip.
Freddie Freeman. It should be called Chip on My Shoulder or something like that.
He should be after this guy left his team high and dry.
I do all the writing for you here, Chip. All right, you're welcome. I'm going Freddie Freeman.
Freeman, huh?
First year in the Dodgers. I think he's got a lot to prove. I just think he wants to go there and show that he can do it without the Braves. And I know they just came off a World Series championship. And I think the Dodgers are fucking loaded. The Dodgers, spoiler alert for me, Dodgers are really, really good. I expect them to have a really good season and go far.
When are they never loaded, though? That's the thing.
Right, but they just keep getting better. They just keep adding pieces. I mean, they have Trey Turner now. They have Freddie Freeman. I think Freddie Freeman's got something he wants to prove. A lot of people think he was kind of washed, should have taken a nice discount to stay in Atlanta. And I just think he wants to go and show the world that he can do it without them. So I'm going with Freddie Freeman for my surprise pick for the National League. I'm not going to lie to you, I was torn between picking him and Juan Soto. I think Juan Soto's really good.
Well, way to spoil mine.
I'm just saying, 50-50 chance.
Because Juan Soto was mine. My other one, though, is another player on that team was Mookie Betts. Was my other guy that I thought might have a chance at it because of just how loaded they are.
Yeah, the Dodgers are so good. It's almost one of those pick your poison.
Right. But I think Juan Soto has a great chance of taking it.
Yeah, Juan Soto's only gotten
hell
better.
Of a fucking player that guy is.
He's, what, 23? He's
so
young as hell.
So young.
It's just a shame he's on Washington. I mean, they won the championship with him a few years ago.
But that gives him a one-up advantage in possibly winning the MVPs when you're on such a team where you're not like a loaded team and you're the star player and you can maybe bring that team into the playoffs, go deep run into the playoffs. You just give yourself a better chance of winning the MVP.
Oh, here we go.
I was going to say that, the chip shot.
Chipper's host option doesn't kick in for another 10 years, so it's going to be a while for the chip shot. That's actually not a bad name, the chip shot.
I was just about to say it, but I didn't want to interrupt. I was going to ask you guys how you felt about the chip shot.
Chipper, you better get on there and trademark that name before Lee does.
Yeah, let me file that with the LCC.
We'll do it
right
while
now.
we're recording. But yeah, I like that. So that's a good pick. I mean, it's be interesting. I think we both have pretty solid choices.
Yeah, again, I mean, my gut instinct wanted to go with Juan Soto for MVP, but I'm just going to go with a wild card, and I'm going with Freddie Freeman just for shits and giggles to keep things interesting. And now we move on to the creme de la creme, whatever the saying is. I don't speak French. It is the championship, or the World Series. Who do you see is going to be in the World Series this year?
I'm going Blue Jays and Dodgers is the World
Literally
Series.
exactly what I have.
Blue Jays and Dodgers. I think they're both loaded. As
Hold
you
them
just
up.
mentioned. Hold
both of the papers up. I don't believe you guys.
I have no problem
Swear to
showing
God,
it.
and I
It's
did
right
not.
there. Print it out.
I'll show you,
We
you
didn't,
show me
yeah,
yours.
we didn't talk
Mine's right
before.
there.
There's mine right there, right now. Yeah,
That's
there you
sick.
go.
Toronto
That's
versus
sick.
LA. And
Yep.
spoiler alert, I have LA as the champs.
Blue Jays versus Dodgers, and trust me, we didn't talk about this before we did any of this.
Who do you have as champ?
Blue Jays.
Okay, so we have difference there. Okay,
course.
That's
So
sick.
It's not exactly the same.
Yeah, I have the
What
Blue
are the
Jays.
odds?
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a very dominant season for the Blue Jays in AL. Their team, like you mentioned, is loaded pitching and hitting.
They're really good.
I just don't see anybody getting past them. I think it's going to be an easy division run for them too. I think you're going to see the downfall of the Yankees and the downfall of the Red Sox too. So it's going to be very interesting and fun baseball. I think finally to see other teams
I'm
come
excited
out of
for
the
baseball
AL.
to start. I'm kind of happy with the lockout because it did get us to a little bit closer to warmer weather. I still expect more snow coming in Cleveland just because that's just what happens here. It just snowed the other day. I mean, obviously we can't escape the cold weather for a while in the beginning of the season, but just knowing that's a little later and we're a little closer to summer. Baseball starting tomorrow.
Yep.
It's just a nice change. I'm excited for it all to start, even if the Guardians are.
It's just the
probably gonna be
first
shitty.
sign of spring/summer.
Sure. It's a good sign.
However,
It's-
I'm expecting wholeheartedly next Friday with it being opening day, and I don't know about you. I mean, I'm sure we'll probably go downtown, have a drink or two. It's going to be ice cold, I'm sure.
more than likely. That's usually last year was actually really nice out.
Was it 2 years or 3 years ago? It was like 20 degrees or 18 degrees and windy.
Yeah, it's usually every other year. So last year was kind of nice. This year's going to suck.
We're going to
That's
be
just-
screwed this year, yeah.
It's just how it goes. All right, well, we are at that point where we take our break, so we're going to go away for a little bit, and then we'll be right back with some ad reads. We know you guys love doing those, and we got plenty of NFL stuff to talk about. We got a big trade that happened. We have just the tip. Plenty of shit. We're going to break down, if you're a fan of any team from the AFC North or the NFC North, we're going to break down the North today, and we're going to talk about their team needs and where they're picking, what we expect them to pick, etc., stuff like that. We're not giving names, though. That's for the draft special. Talking About Balls is going to have the best draft special on Redline Radio that you've ever seen, you've ever heard.
What's the date on that?
That's going to be the 27th. We're doing it Wednesday the 27th, the day before I fly to Vegas, because I'm going, and can't wait to do it. I love doing mock drafts. We're going to break it all down right after this break. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from our break. A little quick one today because we got a lot to talk about and we want to get it all in. So, obviously, we're here. We're live. We're at Studio 2. We couldn't do this without Studio 2 being so state-of-the-art, being so fucking beautiful. Shout out to Lisa Summers, the Growing Wings Adult Service Studio, the official sponsor of the state-of-the-art Studio number 2. Growing Wings Adult Services has 5 years of experience of taking care of adults with disabilities. Give them a call. More information, call Lisa, 234-334-7547. Also, shout out to Lisa. She has a new show, Sugar and Spice, Lisa and Jamie. Technically it debuted Saturday.
At
but
the show.
It's weekly. Slot is Wednesdays, 5 to 7, right here at the beautiful Studio 2. Sugar and Spice, check it out. Give them a listen if you don't mind. Tell them Talking About Balls sent you.
That's amazing. You know why we have such a beautiful studio?
Why is that?
Oh, well, it's because Wiggins Construction and Home Improvement came in here and did all this. I mean, this looks amazing in here. Wiggins Construction and Home Improvement. If you have anything you need done in your house, whether it be bathrooms, kitchens, windows, doors, siding, you need someone to build a red room for you in your basement for you and your missus. They don't judge. I don't judge. You don't judge. They'll do it for you. Give Will a call today. It's 440-731-7654. Tell them that Red Line Radio sent you. They'll take care of you. They did a great job here. This is why we love recording out of the studio. They can't do any wrong for you.
You know, when you get done telling them that Red Line Radio sent you, why don't you head over to Strongsville and tell One of One Sports Cards and Memorabilia that JG sent you?
You're going to talk it to an existence.
I know. I'm still sticking with that. Honestly, though, go to One of One Sports Cards and Memorabilia. I'm a huge sports card and memorabilia fan myself. My basement walls can attest to that. I got a couple bare spots right now. The Browns have made some moves. We have some guys that have come and gone. So I took some of the jerseys down. I've sold some stuff. I've moved on.
How long until the Baker stuff goes?
As soon as One of One Sports Cards Memorabilia buys it off me, that's when it's going right to him. But honestly, though, if you want to get some autographs or some cool gear for any of the new players in town, we have Deshaun Watson here. We have Amari Cooper now. If you want to look for anything from them, the place I recommend going to, One of One Sports Cards and Memorabilia in Strongsville, located at 13221 Prospect Road. Again, tell them JG sent you. Give them a call right now, 440-638-4044. They're probably closed because it's almost 11 o'clock. But call them anyway. If they have a voicemail, you say, JG told me to call. Then hang up. That's it. Leave it just like that. I don't want them to have any idea what you're talking about. But go to them if you want anything Cleveland-related, any sport, any team. They're the place to go. Check them out.
So after you leave one-on-one, you head over to Incredible Keepsakes in case you want to put some of that stuff you just bought into a cool case, or you want to put some, build it into like a thing you want to put on the wall. Because you know what? Over at Incredible Keepsakes, Diane's going to take care of you. She's going to help you out. She's going to help you get what you want, whether it be a shirt, a Red Line shirt, whether it be any kind of design shirt you want, whether it be a sports memorabilia, you want to do like a shadow box or something. I'm sure she can take care of you over there. 440-242-9648. Diane will take care of you. And her famous quote, we will never forget, is cherished moments are made to last forever. And you know what? Truly, they are. I truly believe they are.
Absolutely. They make great stuff. It's going to last a long time. Great quality. That's the place to go. Now, we have a mutual friend.
Oh, boy.
You know this friend. He likes to dress like a cowboy. Andrew Summers. Shout out to Andrew Summers. Great guy. So we're hanging out the other day. He's wearing his cowboy boots. He's got spurs. They're making a weird noise. I look at him and I said, what's going on with those things? And he said, the spurs aren't meant to be up in this Cleveland climate. A lot of water, a lot of salt,
They also make a lot of noise, too.
He said they get rusty. I'm like, well, what do you do with a rusty spur? He said, well, you take it and you get it fixed. And I said, you know what I do with a rusty spur? I go in and I have a fucking beer. That's what I do, because the Rusty Spur Saloon is the biggest hole-in-the-wall bar in Las Vegas. It's been voted for 2 years in a row. I cannot wait to check it out. I'll be going to Las Vegas in a few weeks now. Cannot wait. Definitely stopping into the Rusty Spur Saloon. Going to tell them Dave sent me. I look forward to that. I love hole-in-the-wall bars.
And I was going to go with one other direction with this, but just following what you're talking about, what would make the hole-in-the-wall bar, the Rusty Spur Saloon, just creme de la creme? You know what would just top it off? Is if you had music playing.
I love a good band.
A live band playing. The best band to get going is the official band of Red Line Radio, Bad Juju. I've heard their music on Facebook when Dave's been to shows. I haven't been to a personal show yet, but it's definitely on a bucket list item this summer to check them out. Give Dan a call to book him out to come out and play for you, play for your event, play for a venue. Give them a call. It's 440-225-0511. You won't be disappointed. They do have some great music.
Yeah, and they're always promoting. I saw their Facebook page. They're always promoting a package where you can hang out with them. You can get on a bus with them, a tour bus, and you can party with them. They'll take you to another city. They'll play a show. It sounds like a great deal. I highly recommend checking it out. If I if the dates worked for me, I would totally do it. And hopefully they have one coming up that I can get to because that sounds like a fucking blast. Now, you're listening to us. We're here on Redline Radio. I already talked about Sugar and Spice as a new show coming on, but we have plenty of shows that have been going on forever. If you guys want to check out some great shit.
Lots of shows.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, literally any day of the week that ends in Y, Redline has a show going, and I highly recommend checking it out. Of course, our producer, our very own Tim Buck2. Tim Buck Tuesdays. His show was great last night. I was listening to it. He was talking about chickens and eggs and how chickens are the greatest bird in the world.
Greatest bird.
I didn't hear one lie. I'm not going to lie to you. That shit was perfect because I love chicken. And there is so much you can do to it. Or with it, I should say, not to it. I'm not a weirdo.
Oh, no, continue that thought.
Let me preface that.
Continue that thought. You were going with it. It's
I am not a chicken fucker. We've all seen Super Troopers. All right, everybody. But yeah, so you've got Tim Buck Tuesday. Again, Wednesday, Sugar and Spice, and continuing to serve. You've got the Lex Vegas show, of course, the bread and butter of Redline Radio on Thursday nights. He's always got great guests, comedians. It's funny. He loves to just shoot the shit. Great show. You got Steel City Renegades, who apparently we have a beef with because, again, our sticker is the official sticker that looks just like Lee Money's penis. We have it right here. Life size. As you can see, I have a pretty big hand. So comparison, that's it. But yeah, great shows on Redline Radio. Check it all out, everybody. Look at Facebook. They post the shows. They promote the hell out of everything. We can't thank them enough for all that. Check it out. Great content. Check it out.
And last but not least, we have not gotten a call yet tonight.
Haven't. I gave that number. We want to give these stickers away.
Let's give it
All right.
again. Studio 2, Fitz Trash Bin Cleaning Service LLC hotline. Give us a call, 440-444-7251. If we've said anything you disagree with, whether I'm guaranteeing there's been a lot.
Lee just said we
people.
got canceled.
And I guess our show just got canceled.
He's pulling the plug. This is like Howard Stern with MMS back in the 90s. All right, but we are back, though, for the second half. I always say that. It's not half. We break an hour in. But we are going to quickly try to break down the AFC and NFC North, as I said. We're going to do team needs. We're going to do it once a week. We're going to be talking about mine and Dave's shows. I said Steel City Renegades, didn't I? And that's how I talked about the sticker.
We forgot about Dave's specific show, and we forgot about Lee's
I didn't.
Money's Crazy Mind, and we forgot about the Scoop.
I don't have time to read every show on the list, Lee. We got time.
You know, what's
time
funny is I
crunch
haven't
here.
heard any of them mention our show when they're on there.
I mean, apparently, Lee, I didn't get to hear the segment yet, but I heard Lee talked about us and our stickers on Saturday, so
okay.
I'll have to go back and listen to that. Chipper told me all about it. Chipper,
And the feud continues.
Chipper said that was the last straw. When you talk bad about us, that's why Chipper wants his own show. He wants to just vent about Lee, I think. All right, but we're going to break down the AFC and NFC North, their team needs, where they're drafting. Again, we're not going to go into detail on the players because if you go into detail on the players, it kind of ruins our mock draft. Maybe I'll throw a couple names out of people I could see, but it's not a definitive locked-in situation. So
trust me, we have a juicy draft.
I can't wait. Again,
coming up.
the 27th, if you guys are interested, we will do a full 32-pick mock draft. We go back and forth. We don't split. We want to my mock versus Kyle's. Basically, we like to compare and contrast. We're going to do all that on the 27th. Can't wait. However, today we're doing the AFC and NFC North, so let's get right underway with it. We're going to call.
Getting a call here on the Fitz Trash Bin.
Who thinks it's Lee?
I hope it's Lee.
Hello, caller.
What's going on, guys? You're talking AFC North.
I knew it.
You're talking AFC North, and I got a team in the AFC North that definitely needs some needs.
You do have a team in the AFC North that has some needs. Let's lead off with the Steelers.
Yeah, we'll
shall
start
we?
with the Steelers. I was going to go in alphabetical order, but who cares?
All right, so what do you think, Lee? What do you think the Steelers need the most of?
I have two positions here. One of them is kind of a hybrid position, if you will. It's a group of positions. But what do you say, Lee? What do you think is the biggest need for the Steelers?
Well, we definitely need some wide receivers since Juju left, and now it looks like Deontay Johnson's contract is going to be too expensive for the Steelers to afford, but he drops every ball that he catches, so why not get rid of him anyway?
I doubt he'll drop the pen when he's signing that new contract.
Well, we'll see about that. But anyway, so we definitely need some wide receivers. We still need to beef up that O-line quite a bit. We definitely need some help on the defensive side of the ball as well. And I know that those were all things that Chipper mentioned Saturday. I definitely agree that we should probably look at those positions in the first round of the draft. And if any of the quarterbacks are left, maybe try to take them in the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 20 millionth to 947 million round, but whatever.
Only seven.
I understand that.
He's thinking years to come. They're still going to need a quarterback in the next.
I mean,
couple
back
years.
in the day, there used to be like 30 rounds almost. It felt like so. Way back in the day.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm with
there
you
you
though,
go.
Lee. That's exactly who I have. So for Pittsburgh, they're picking 20th this year. I have them.
Yep.
I don't have any players linked to them, but they have been linked to damn near every quarterback in the draft. So I have them with a quarterback or an offensive lineman because they could use either of them. Last year, you took a first-round pick. You used it on Najee Harris, good running back. The guy had to carry the ball a ton. It didn't amount to as much as it should for the number of carries and touches that he had. So the offensive line would really help that out. Mitch Trubisky, unfortunately, doesn't really expand the field, nor did Ben Roethlisberger, though. So you're kind of in the same situation with Mitch Trubisky if you don't bring in a different quarterback. So I think offensive line is probably your biggest need if you don't take a quarterback, in my opinion. I saw Chipper said a defensive lineman, maybe.
second or third round.
Oh, he said second or third. I thought he was talking first.
Was he first? I think he said second or third. I could be wrong. I
Yeah,
think
I
they
mean,
should.
Chipper is taking anything but quarterback in the first round, and then we'll deal with quarterback in the later rounds. But like I said, I don't necessarily disagree with him.
No, I mean, you have
But
Mitch Trubisky with a 2-year contract, so there's really no rush for a
Right.
quarterback. And this year would be a
But
project
if a Malik
quarterback anyway.
Willis if a Malik Willis or the quarterback from Wisconsin is still sitting there at 20, if you don't pull the trigger, you're kind of dumb. And with this being Kevin Colbert's last draft, you would think you would want to go out with somewhat of a bang.
Yeah, I mean, how great would that look on his resume to draft the potential franchise quarterback as he's going out? He can say, hey, I left you guys in good hands. Here you go.
Hasta la
So
vista.
that's probably why he's going to take Kenny Pickett, and you guys are going to suck for the next 10 years.
Yeah, well.
No, I agree though. My and here we go. Not cheating again. My two
I
picks
mean, I think
that
it's
they
pretty
want
obvious
to
for the
was
Steelers.
offensive line and quarterback. I think offensive line needs to be a go-to. But like Lee's saying that one of those quarterbacks are there at that pick, then you take them. You have to. I mean,
Absolutely.
You probably won't play this year if any, but you build for the future.
All right, Lee, we appreciate
Exactly.
the call. We're going to move on because we just have 10 minutes left, so we got to try to knock all these teams out and then get just the tip done. Oh, all right, there it was.
In the comments.
What's that?
I'll put it in the comments for you guys, though.
Okay,
all right.
sounds good, brother.
Cool.
Nice talking to you.
All right, cool. All right, bye.
All right, next up, we are going from Pittsburgh to, let's go to Baltimore next. Why not? Spice it up a little bit, shake things up.
I mean, I'll start. I mean, I think they need offensive line for sure, and they also need wide receiver help. I think they need to get somebody out there to help catch balls.
I mean, it's kind of funny, though. Think about the number of first-round picks they've used on quarterback or wide receivers. They took Hollywood Brown
Right.
3 years ago. They just took Rashad Bateman in the first round last year.
Sure.
For me, I think offensive lineman is the no-brainer move for the Baltimore Ravens, which is exactly why they'll probably take a defensive player.
yeah.
Because they're a defensive-minded team. They apparently have no interest in
They
protecting
definitely
Lamar
need
Jackson.
offensive line because what's his face retired
mean,
last year.
Offensive line would be the biggest. Andrew Villanueva.
Yeah.
Offensive line would be the biggest need for them, the biggest help, and I absolutely can see them
Nah,
not
they
taking
just like seeing Jackson
there's-
get sacked all the time.
There's
so
really
it's
good
okay.
offensive linemen in this draft. I mean, they could come away with Tyler Lindenbaum at what are they picking? 14th. I have it. Yeah, 14th. Who's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great center. I think he's one of the best offensive linemen in the draft. But because he's a center, he'll be pushed back a little bit. Somebody might steal him in the 20s. I mean, the Steelers could end up with him, for God's sake. He's a really good player, and he would be great. Bengals going O-line. Yeah, more than likely. We'll get to them in a second here. But yeah, so for the Ravens, I have offensive line is the no-brainer
Yeah.
pick for me. I mean, if they even think about anybody else, then great. As a Browns fan, I hope so, but I wouldn't do it. Next up, we will go to Cincinnati. So Cincinnati offensive line, they're picking 31st. It's exactly who I have. I have offensive line as well because they made a couple signings. I mean, they got La'el Collins from the Cowboys.
They've
who just
done
got
well
released.
in the offseason.
They signed a lot of guys who were okay.
Right.
Like you're not.
But
You're
those
not really
okay
helping
guys
Joe
were
Burrow.
better than what they had
Sure,
last year.
they had one of the worst offensive lines in football, but they then just replaced them with a couple of guys. You know what I mean? Nobody great. So I still think drafting an offensive lineman, if there's a great one available at 31, would be the no-brainer move.
Which means you're going to sign another receiver.
Yeah, they're going to draft whoever the fastest receiver is because God knows they can't. They can't get
It
enough
worked
of
for him
there.
last year, so
Yeah, honestly.
it can't hurt this year.
All right, and then that will get us to the Cleveland Browns, who don't pick till the 44th overall pick because,
You know
of
what
course, they
position?
traded for
You know what
Deshaun
position they
Watson.
don't need? I was going to say quarterback. So.
They don't need a quarterback for a long time, hopefully. All right. For the Cleveland Browns, I'll start. They're picking 44th. Obviously, the no-brainer pick a lot of people have is wide receiver. Okay, cut and dry. We need a wide receiver. I get it. A lot of people don't really want to admit this, but our defense needs a lot of help. So I just put D because it could be anybody. I mean, we need an edge. We need a defensive tackle. We need linebackers.
Yes.
We need safeties.
Yep.
We're okay at corner. I don't think we'd go depth at 44 for like a fourth or fifth corner. So I just really think we need almost any position on defense. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they took a defensive player. And again, regardless of position.
Literally, that's what I have. You can see here, defense. That's
Yeah.
it. It's covers everything because we need help.
I didn't want to
everywhere.
go one specific position because a lot of people ask, like, what do you think the Browns are going to do? The options are endless.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get
think
fixated on one position because there's so many options.
There is a deep class of defensive players that we could choose from. I think at
Yes.
that pick in the second round, it's best available for
Absolutely.
our defense.
Absolutely.
You take them. I think they're still trying to make some moves in the offseason to bring a receiver in, trade for one, sign one, whatever.
Yeah, there were rumors.
Go
We didn't
defense.
talk about it yet, but there were rumors that the Browns were linked to Brandon Cooks for the Texans, but the Texans' asking price was a second-round pick, which is fucking absurd.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's
He's
absurd.
worth a third.
So, yeah, I have wide receiver defense. I think that's the main goal for the early rounds of the draft.
absolutely.
Late rounds, I mean, you go for depth. I think we need another tight end. We're going to give Njoku a big contract, but Harrison Bryant can't stay healthy.
Right.
Austin Hooper will be gone as of June 1st, so he's out of the question. You need another tight end. However, Stefanski did say we're not going to be running the 3 tight end sets anymore because of this setup, which means more wide receivers, which means we need to draft wide receivers then.
Right.
So plenty of options, plenty of people out there. I'm excited to see what Andrew Berry does. Now we go to the NFC. And we're going to start, we'll do these in alphabetical order. Why not? Chicago Bears. Kyle, lead us off.
The Bears. What's the biggest piece they lost this season? Their wide receiver.
And Khalil Mack. I mean,
Oh,
they
that's
lost
true.
a lot. They lost a lot.
So I that's true. So I put number one as their biggest need is wide receiver. I think they need to give someone for Justin Fields to get the ball to. He lost a big target. I think they should be their number one go-to. This is such a deep wide receiver class. They wouldn't or should not have a problem finding one that would help them. My second one with them was edge rusher or cornerback.
Okay. Good. I mean, honestly, the Chicago Bears are kind of in a situation because, of course, they traded away this year's first-round pick to get Justin Fields last year. They traded up with the Giants, I believe. And their first pick doesn't come until 39. So they're getting a top 40 player. However, they need that first-round pick because their team is in shambles. They really don't have a lot of talent on that roster. I feel bad for Justin Fields. The one thing that I took away last year was how much he got destroyed.
Yep.
Bad offensive line. So for me, their number one need is an offensive lineman. You have to protect your franchise quarterback. You traded multiple draft picks to get this guy. You got to protect him. It's the Joe Burrow situation all over again. You have a franchise guy, protect him. So I'm going all offensive lineman, but any of those positions wouldn't surprise me because they need so much. They're not a very good team overall.
Poor Justin Fields.
Here's hoping for the best. He gets that offensive line help that Lamar Jackson just can't get. Next up, Detroit. The Lions with the number 2 overall pick. They really have pick of the litter, literally. They can take whoever they want. Depending on who Jacksonville takes one, I think Jacksonville's going on. They're going to take Walker or Aiden Hutchinson. They're going an edge rusher, I would think. Just a matter of which one they prefer. I think the latter would go to the Lions.
Yeah.
So they're either coming away with Aiden Hutchinson or Traylon Walker from Georgia. Great picks for them. They need so much. Again, they're another bad team. They could use a quarterback. I don't think they'll take one at 2. They need a lot. They overachieved last year and they still ended up with the number 2 pick. That's
They need a
saying
whole
something.
new team. Period.
They really do. They're a bad team. I like Dan Campbell. I like his attitude.
I can't wait to watch him at Hard Knocks this year because they're
Could
the
be
Hard
exciting.
Knocks team. You know, it's gonna be fun to watch. His attitude and anger, aggression is gonna be really interesting to watch.
He likes biting kneecaps, as he says. So yeah, the Lions. I could see them honestly going. They're going to go defensive line, I assume, because of the talent that's loaded up at the top. They took Penei Sewell last year, so they're not going to go offensive lineman again. So defensive line, I think, is where it's at. I don't think they're going to reach on a quarterback at 2. There's nobody worth it, in my opinion. If they do, could be the writing on the wall for a new regime already in Detroit if they take a quarterback.
Seems like it's changing every 2 or 3 years up there. I mean, I put for the Lions, I put safety, linebacker. I mean, just defense in general. They need to stack that defense and get some pieces in there. They have some promising people on the offense, yet they tied your team.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
The back and forth. I like it. But I think that they have some promising pieces on the wide receiver core. I mean, that rookie last year came out of nowhere with playing with Jared.
Amara St. Brown.
Yeah, I mean, he carried me to a fantasy championship last year. But I think defense is where the Lions need to build up. Hopefully they do, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Detroit is a complete rebuild of a team, and again, they could go anywhere, but I think they're just going to go with best available, and that's going to be a defensive lineman. Just depends on which one is there. So they're in a good situation there, too, to come away with a good player. Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers, who are picking 22 and 29. They have 2 first-round picks. They're the first of many for us to talk about that have 2 first-round picks.
They need a quarterback.
I mean, couldn't hurt. Jordan Love's not very good. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to play forever. Realistically, though, I think everybody knows this. They got to go wide receiver.
Yeah.
Do I think they go double picks on wide receiver and go 22 and 29? I don't think so. However, this is just me speaking out loud here. They could go wide receiver 22 and then 29. They could go with a defensive player. They need help on defense at almost every position as well. Or package these picks up, move up into the top 10, come away with one of the elite wide receiver prospects. That's kind of what I could see them doing.
Like one of the guys.
Yeah, to get
Ohio
Olave,
State.
if they want Olave, they're probably going to have to trade up. I don't think he'll be there at 22. Burks might, but even then, you're really, really risking it.
Burks was just in Cleveland today.
Yeah, I would assume if you're the Packers, I would trade those 2 picks, move up into the top 10, and try to come away with a Garrett Wilson or a Chris Olave for Aaron Rodgers. I think that would be dynamic.
You need to give him a weapon. You need to give him something so he doesn't lose his mind this year. But wide receiver makes sense. If they stay where they're at, I think wide receiver and I think offensive line or edge rusher because they need some help in that defensive line too.
Absolutely. I mean, they need a lot of things. I mean, they were the number 1 seed in the NFC last year. They're a great team.
But they had a lot of holes.
You have the reigning MVP. But yeah, they have some holes then, and they lost a lot of players. Zadarius Smith left. I mean, a lot of people are gone.
He went to Minnesota. It's great.
Well, with a stop in Baltimore along the way.
You wanted to say hi. You wanted to stop
I
by
love
hang
that
out
he
with
said
people.
fuck you to them. That made me so happy. What do we got? We got Dorsey's about to trade 15 picks for Baker Mayfield. Not so fast, buddy boy. I don't think that's going to happen. I think, unfortunately, we're stuck with Baker right now. All right. Then we have Minnesota. They're picking 12th. Number 1 team need for them, corner.
Yes.
They need secondary help. However, is that who you had?
I had number 1 was corner, yep.
I have a curveball.
Okay.
Quarterback.
Really? Interesting.
A lot of people aren't thinking about this, but it kind of reminds me.
Though, this draft class?
Get a guy to sit behind Cousins for a year or 2, maybe just 1. You have your project guy. Cousins is making a lot of money.
Yeah.
The production for the money that he's making isn't worth it to a new regime, especially new head coach, new front office. Is it time that they move on? It could be the shocker because there's always teams that draft a quarterback you don't expect. Look at when the Packers did it.
Right, with Jordan, yeah.
They took Jordan Love and everybody and their brother was freaking out because they're like, you have Aaron Rodgers. Why the fuck would you take a quarterback?
That is a curveball. I didn't even think about that.
It was my little surprise. I
had cornerback and edge rusher because they need that. They need defense.
They need a lot. Don't get me wrong. The Vikings are, especially defensively.
But quarterback would be interesting. You know, I would think that
something to think about.
My thought would be hold out till next year because I think next year's draft class for quarterbacks is a lot better. But no, it's interesting.
But that means they're going to have to suck to get one. So
True.
Are they willing to give up another losing season with a brand new regime, or are they going to say, let's just get a guy to learn, and then next year we take that next step? You never know. Just, again, something to think about. If they took a quarterback, you heard it here first.
That's all we need is for them to take quarterback, and Justin's
loud.
ego just blows up even more.
All right. With that being said, speaking of things being big, just the tip. It's time.
Just the tip.
Tim, start us off, my friend.
Well, since we're talking about tips, I'm gonna bring up mine. You know, on Saturday, on Saturday, I definitely talked about the comedy scene in Cleveland. So today, I'm gonna show y'all an example. Tomorrow, Thursday nights, actually every Thursday, at the Bliss Bistro. Ulysses Dickerson, she hosts a show, and we have many comedians that come out. I pop up. Sometimes I might do a show, I might not, but I'm there with a lot of amazing comedians, and there's some that are actually putting a show together. Shout out to Uncle Lou, Skip Lou. He is putting a show together that gives people an opportunity to audition for a show that is going to be on Tubi and on Crackle, and I believe Amazon Prime as well.
That's awesome.
No kidding. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So if you're a comic, you come out every Thursday. They basically will scout you, and basically, you know, if you come and do your thing, do your thug thizzle, you could be in the movie. But if you want to just come out and enjoy some comedy, this place with the Bliss Bistro has really great food, really nice prices on the drinks, and there's a lot of beautiful women. And if you like men, there's usually some nails there too. So
that's awesome.
Maybe they can give you a tip.
What's the chances of getting slapped while on stage?
Well, you getting slapped on stage could be likely, but you're gonna get slapped back. I'm just telling you, you don't want to do that. But that is my tip.
That's awesome. So is it an open mic or is it like a showcase?
It is an open mic.
Okay,
it is an
nice.
open mic. But one of them, like, it depends on what it is, and a lot of times you do a contest.
Okay.
So if you are the best of the night and everybody votes you in as the best of the night, you will get a cash prize. I've actually won one night.
No
so.
shit, that's awesome.
Hell yeah,
Congrats,
dude.
dude.
That's awesome, man.
Appreciate it.
That's awesome, dude. I love comedy, so that's great to hear. Let's promote more of that.
Yes,
Maybe
sir.
we should make a night out to go watch Tim.
Absolutely, I want to for sure. We'll definitely set that up.
I would love for y'all to come see me.
100%.
We'll talk about our balls in public with you.
I talk about my nuts all the time in public, so don't worry.
As you should.
Perfect. All right, my Just the Tip. New show just dropped last week for us Marvel and comic book fanatics. I'm going to guarantee you that most people did not know this was even a comic and probably thought that Marvel just made it up. Show's called Moon Knight. Just dropped on Disney Plus last Wednesday. Second episode dropped today. I haven't watched it yet. But this is a comic. It's been around for a while now. It is basically just a guy who has multiple personalities. One personality, he's kind of a nerdy, normal, everyday life kind of person. The other personalities of his is he's a mercenary. He's basically just a killer. As you see in his picture right here, this is the Moon Knight version of his personalities. But the entire first episode is him kind of fighting with the demons inside, kind of fighting with the different personalities trying to take over. He ends up in different situations that he didn't realize he put himself into. Great show. Some people were like a little weird about it because they didn't understand it. But if you have any idea who this character is, look it up before you watch a show. You really get into it. I highly recommend it. If you've watched Star Wars, it's the guy who plays, I think, is it Hal on Star Wars is the main character in this movie?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, okay.
Talking about in the 7 through 9, right?
Yes, yeah. Great show. Check it out. It's on Disney Plus. It is every Wednesday. I think it's a 10-episode season. But yeah, give it a chance. You'll like it.
All right. I heard it's great. I'm going to be watching it for sure. I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for more episodes to come out so I can binge.
For sure.
All right. My Just the Tip is a book. I'm a little bit of a nerd. I like to read. My tip is The Tattooist of Auschwitz. It's exactly what you think it is. It is a book about the Holocaust and a guy who gets taken away from his family to go work at the camps. And he, at the time, doesn't know what it is. So it's the beginning of the Holocaust, and it's him thinking they're just taking him to this work camp. He's going to go. It is what it is. He packed a bag. He brought some books and some nice stuff, thinking it's going to be cool. They take all his shit. They throw him in these tight rooms. You know how the Holocaust goes. I don't have to explain it to you. And he ends up going. He gets a job as the tattooist. So he has to literally tattoo all the people coming in. He has to tattoo the Jewish number on them, like marking them as a Jew. And along the way, he makes friends. He starts getting some things and making trades with people. And like, it's a really, really detailed look at what happened inside of it. And I thought it was just a novel when I read it. And then when the book ended, I Googled the guy who was the main person, because in the back, it's a true story.
No shit.
I had no idea. It was actually really, really informative. I'm fascinated with Holocaust stuff. It's crazy to me. I just don't understand how it happened. It's still like, it's hard to process when you really think about how fucking terrible it was. So the book was eye-opening. It was really, really good. I highly recommend it. I loved it.
It's fitting we end the show with this book and we start the show with The Master.
Yeah, I'm all about change.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I'm here for the better.
What an episode we've had today, folks.
Yeah, so sorry, Dave. We went a little long. It's
Cat, are you a fucking G?
Fuck you, Kyle.
But yeah, we went a little long because obviously Dave hasn't gotten us our water cooler, or Lee. I don't even know who you want to put the
We've
blame on at
stopped
this
for
point.
about 20 break times for water breaks here.
See
You
this,
just don't
guys?
know it.
I'm bringing my own water. Okay, Bush League. Let's get this water cooler, all right, Lee? How many times do we have
I
to
think
ask?
Lee turned the air off when he left, too.
It did get way hotter in here as soon as Lee left. I don't know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Talking About Balls. On behalf of everyone here, what would you do if you had $1 million? See ya.